Alrighty, this is 48 Concli, and what I have here today is my Glock 29, and this is unloaded. I have it sitting here, and I also have just a generic 10mm auto round. Nothing real special about this ammo per se, but one thing I wanted to talk about today was that the 10mm. I know everybody knows the story of how, the Miami shootout, and the cops didn't have quite enough with their old revolvers, and they didn't want to use just the 9mm, so they bumped up and tried using the 10mm, and recruits had issues with recoil sensitivity and the frames being too large on the guns at the time. Which led to the development of the 40 Smith & Wesson. But I'm not really going to talk much about that today. The main thing I'm going to talk about is how the 10mm today, mostly from the manufacturers, gets loaded to 40 Smith & Wesson specs. I have a couple theories on that. If you guys are watching and you have any theories, then hey, put it in the comments section below, and maybe we can try to, come to kind of a conclusion. So basically, here's a good starting point. As you can see here, I don't know if you can, kind of, maybe. But this is just some regular American Eagle 10mm that I picked up, right there. They're 180 grain, and the energy is, the muzzle's velocity is 1,030 feet per second. And the energy is 425 foot-pounds of energy. So that's really pretty much just 40 Smith & Wesson loadings right there. That's real light for a 10mm. I'm not the kind of guy that's just going to go through and put nuclear loads to theirs, but the 10mm is capable of up to, I think, comfortably around like 770 foot-pounds of energy. And those are real hot loads from Buffalo and Double Tap and stuff like that. I don't have any of that ammo per se right now. But what I do want to drive home is the fact that this 425 pounds of energy is just crap in my mind. The 10mm is capable of so much more, and it's getting watered down. A lot of the guns, like the EEA Witness, they had a line out for a while that they used a thinner slide material, and when they shot regular full power 10mm loads to it, it caused issues with the gun cracking on the slide. That's unacceptable in my mind. The only manufacturer that I can say developed the gun for the 10mm, and only the 10mm, well, not the only one, the Bren 10, which technically was developed for the 10mm, but that was even a beefed up design. But the Glock 20 and the Glock 29 were specifically developed for the 10mm cartridge. They're a lot beefier. A lot of people say that the Glocks the large caliber Glocks are way too beefy. But that's because they were designed to shoot the 10mm cartridge. As you can see, in recent times, Glock has been starting to release some thinner slide 45 variants, because the pressures just don't require the slide to be as thick on the 10mm. But like, for instance, I have this Freedom Munitions. I looked on their webpage and I just put the basics through a calculator. But these have an advertised velocity of, crap, it doesn't say there. 1,100 feet per second. And this is just a good basic run-of-the-mill round. But these babies put out 505 foot-pounds of energy, which is not bad. That's definitely towards the upper end that a 40 Smith & Wesson could get to, but it's still kind of, I don't know, just seems kind of washed down. I definitely would rather have this to shoot through than, some of these. Otherwise, I would have just gotten a 40 Smith & Wesson. Now, the Hornady, on their website, they do specifically label it. Now the muzzle energy, or the muzzle speed, is 1,180 feet per second on these, and these are their 10 millimeter 180 grain custom ammo. I got a few fired cases in here, so just a regular old hollow point there. And those produce 556 foot-pounds of energy. You know, getting a little bit better. I'm okay with that. A little bit. I mean, for self-defense, obviously that's a great one. But if you want to use it in any kind of wilderness setting against any kind of black bear and something like that, these are going to be useless. So I did pick up what I would probably coin as a warm load. These are Ted Nugent ammo, and it's not a gag. But these are 180 grain jacketed hollow points going at a velocity of 1,235 feet per second with energy of 610 foot-pounds. Which, that's not bad. Comparatively, you know, that's not getting up there to those buffalo bore loads and stuff like that. And they have a lot of variation up there. I really need to get some buffalo bore. But I picked this up because I wanted something a little hotter for maybe some self-defense or something like that, rather than just something like these. But this definitely gets closer to the performance that I would like to see out of the 10 millimeter that manufacturers would release. Now back to my main point of this video. These 40 Smith & Wesson loaded rounds here, I mean, what are the manufacturers trying to say? My theory is that they have it all set up because it really pretty much uses the same equipment as 40 Smith & Wesson, and to say that they've loaded 10 millimeter ammo, they're probably just throwing in, adjusting it out for the total length and just using all their 40 Smith & Wesson equipment and lazily putting in, you know, the regular bullets and calling it good. You know, obviously you got a different primer, but I think they're just being lazy, putting the same loads into some of them, and that's just what they're doing, and that's what they're expecting to pass as 10 millimeter auto. Some other manufacturers like Freedom Arms, they tried a little bit harder. I mean, that is on the low end. That's a good planking load, but like the 425 pounds of energy, that's just kind of unacceptable in my mind. I can deal with the 505 foot-pounds of energy out of the Freedom. These two, obviously, this is ideal in most scenarios. This won't be hard on any guns. You won't really have to change out any springs or anything like a lot of people will have to do with some of the hotter buffalo bore. I don't know. It's kind of off-putting in the sense that they really neutered this cartridge down to the point of making it very, I don't know, a lot of people, I'm sure, you know, looked at some of the ballistics of them and said, well, why would you even get, you know, what's the big deal about 10 millimeter? And I've seen recently at SHOT Show, I mean, as many people can see, SIG's put out a new 10 millimeter offering, and so has Glock with their new Glock 40. And that's advertised as a hunting pistol. So for self-defense and stuff like that, and just planking, yeah, these are fine. But if you want to get a hunting 10 millimeter Glock, I mean, honestly, besides this one, this is cutting it close. You'd want to use the buffalo bore to try to take down a deer or whatever the heck you're going to be hunting with. All these loads and whatever anybody else puts out, I don't even think that they'd be effective in probably putting down a deer. I'm not saying that they won't be, but I'm just saying that they probably, I'd rather just put my eggs in this basket or higher. So basically, that's my thought. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on why manufacturers are neutering these down and not pushing these to their potential. I'm not saying go full nuclear, but I think it's just a sheer matter of fact of them being lazy and just trying to get ammo put out there. So if you guys got any input, just throw it down into the comment section, and thanks for watching.